All right, so I'm gonna call to order at 6 p.m. I'd like to call to order the Stoughton Redevelopment. Oh. I'd like to call to order the Stoughton Redevelopment Authority meeting on Thursday, February 6th at 6 p.m. This is a Google Meet meeting only because of the weather, inclement weather. We're going to all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, and I'm sorry, we have to call the meeting to order.
I suggest we call the meeting to order.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I will have to do a roll call, but I'm letting this one slide. So can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I know you may not have a flag nearby, but oh, Donna's got one right there. Look at that.
There you go.
Look at that, huh?
I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic
For which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all. Thank you.
Play ball.
Okay. We are going to start with public comments. Cynthia, you're the only one here. Do you have any public comments?
The only one is I'd like to know who is, present at the meeting.
Oh, okay. I will do a roll call. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
If I'm going to say your name and you can say here, if you're here. Lisa Lyons,
Here.
Peter Buckley,
Here.
Robert Desmond,
Here.
Reggie Nunnally,
Absent.
and Roberta Harbeck is here. Okay, member comments. Does anybody have a comment? We all have the little hand thing. I see no comments. I have no comments at this time either. And Donna, do you have any comments?
Just that there's a few documents at the office that I need people to sign when they have a chance.
Sure.
Okay. When the town planner shows up, William Roth, we will have him. Until then, we'll skip over to the consent agenda. There's minutes of the previous meeting. Does anybody want to make a motion? Has everybody reviewed the minutes of the last?
Motion made. Second.
Okay, so Bob made the motion. And who seconded it?
The other way around. I made the
Oh.
motion, Bob seconded.
Sorry, Peter made it, Robert seconded. All those in favor by roll call, Lisa,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
and I vote yes. Okay, now this is where I don't have the agenda. So somebody's going to have to help me along. I only have one page. It's the consent agenda, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Roberta, let me just interrupt you for 1 minute. Should I not have voted on that because I wasn't at the January 8th meeting because I was at the finance committee?
Would you like to change it to abstain?
Yes, please.
Okay, we can do that. Like I said, I have got to look at the phone and look at this, so I don't know what's next on the agenda. So somebody's going to have to help me along.
We have paid bills, unpaid bills.
Okay, does anybody have any questions on the paid bills or the unpaid bills?
No.
No? Does anybody want to make a motion? Oh, I got it, Donna. Thank you. I got it. Does anybody want to make a motion or
Motion made.
for the consent agenda for the unpaid bills? Made by Peter Buckley. Do I have a second?
Second.
Bob Desmond. Roll call. Lisa,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
and I vote also. Okay, correspondence. Did anybody have any questions on any of the correspondence?
Let's see here, Perry Street. So can we just, could I just get an update? I know, I'm not sure if this is further down the agenda, but in reference to the real estate bill, what was the final verdict on that? We paid, last meeting, we decided to pay half of that, correct? And we sent a follow-up letter in reference to the TIF agreement. Is there any update on that or any type of response?
I haven't seen anything. I'm sure Donna would have sent it if she did.
Well, we cover it under like the tax exemption, further in the agenda. But we are on the agenda for the assessors meeting on the 13th.
Okay.
And they are rewriting, the, pilot agreement with our changes.
With changes. Okay, great.
Very good. Thank you. Finance review, section 6.
Mr. Roth joined us.
Oh, hey, Mr. Roth, how are you? You can hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
All right, we're gonna go right back to Mr. Roth since he came in. Hopefully he made it home safely. So,
I did.
okay. So I'll start. This is on the senior housing project, on the agenda, everybody. So my question to you is, I know that you're aware, we talked a couple years back about the project that I thought would be a good idea for the senior homes next to the Council on Aging.
Lambert.
Correct, Lambert Talbot. Yeah, I think is it Lambert or Talbot? Whatever.
It's Lambert.
So I did speak to a developer and he suggested that we do a lot of the engineering prior to it going out to an RFP. But I know that I need to speak to you first before I even bring this to my board. What is the next step to make that zoning fit what I want to do? Oop, I lost you.
Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Oh, we don't have any zoning that would actually allow that. And we couldn't just rezone, we couldn't rezone something like multifamily because that would be a spot zone. I think there's several issues. One is the town of Stoughton owns it.
Correct.
So anything that happens would have to be part of, the town. Obviously, the select board would have to sign off on.
Correct.
Obviously, that if they wanted to, they could, probably town meeting requirement. That they could, I think town meeting would be required to transfer ownership to the SRA. I don't know if it would be an option or not.
No, can I interrupt? I'm not looking to transfer the ownership to the redevelopment authority. Because it's the town's land and I'm fully aware. I did talk to town manager Coulter about this. And he's the one who suggested that I speak to a developer and I talked to Mark Tisdale again. So this would be something, as far as I'm saying it, like I said, we're taking it in small steps, be something that we would work on together.
Okay, so it would be a partnership.
Not my intention of taking the town of Stoughton's land. I completely understand it's the town's land.
Oh, the towns, communities and cities transfer land over to redevelopment authorities all the time. So, I mean, that's a common occurrence.
I wasn't putting, I guess what I want to know is how do I get, I'm just making up a number, 20 houses on this parcel? Do I have to do an overlay? Do I have to request an overlay or I don't know what you want to call it.
We have no zoning mechanism. We have no zoning that would allow that density on those two lots, because it's actually two lots.
Correct.
What would have to be done if you wanted it as senior development, it would have to be a friendly 40B. So there would have to be an affordable component to it. Other than that, there's no, and we can't just create the way state law is, we can't just create a zone for that lot. That would be considered spot zoning. You can't just,
What's the zoning there now, Bill?
It's zoned RC, residential C. So
Commercial, it's a mixed use right now, so residential and commercial?
No, residential C only allows for single family residents.
Only, okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, it would be single family residences.
yeah, 40,000 square foot lot size.
So
Well-
excuse me, Bill, hi, Roberta, through you. Does that mean a town cannot build senior housing without having a subsidized 40B component to it? Did I just hear that right?
No, no, you were looking at doing it as a private developer. In our bylaw, we do have senior housing, but the way our bylaw is written, it can
Only by Stoughton, only Stoughton
it-
can manage it.
it can only, the way our bylaw is written, senior housing can only be developed by the housing authority. So,
Would the SRA be able to work in conjunction with the housing authority, Roberta? Or
I have-
Bill?
I have no idea. I have no idea if it's something they would even be interested in.
yeah.
I don't really know what the housing authority
Yeah,
does.
and unfortunately, I don't have my zoning bylaw to look at, you know, what the, you know, parameters of that are.
So the town meeting, I'm just throwing this out there. So town meeting, I throw out my plan to town meeting. And town meeting thinks it's great. No, they don't think it's great. Let's just pretend they think it's great. They couldn't allow these houses. We have no power as residents to change any kind of zoning for our seniors in Stoughton. It's kind of, it's sad.
Well, you know, you could, a bylaw amendment could be proposed that could expand upon senior housing, that allows for private developers and allows for, you know, I'm just throwing things out. I'm just talking off the top of my head. You know, if you, the town meeting approves the budget and is a legislative body that approves codes. So they approve our bylaws, you name it. So they can't just approve a project on a piece of property that somehow doesn't comply with zoning in one way or the other. So one thing that could be done is that the bylaw, the zoning bylaw, be rewritten to allow for to redefine senior housing to be not just the housing authority, but to allow it as a private developer.
Or the
And-
redevelopment?
Huh?
Or the redevelopment?
He said
Yeah.
for-
Okay.
You would be considered, Bob, you guys would be considered a private developer too.
Okay.
'Cause you're not the town of Stoughton. You are a quasi-governmental agency.
Yeah.
You know, so yes, you can do that.
Okay.
To allow for more than just, let's just put it this way, more than just the housing authority.
Okay.
And then under the bylaw, it would be essentially, we'd have to craft the bylaw that would allow for, you know, that
Mhm.
density, you know, that the underlying density in a zone, that senior housing, that a senior housing development could be approved through, obviously, most likely a special permit. That's typically how they would.
Yeah,
Huh?
dimensional density.
Yeah, so it would be essentially what some people call plan unit development, where you come in with a proposal, and you can look at waiving dimensional and density requirements through special permit for a senior housing development. So, but that would require a bylaw amendment.
Okay. So that would be step one.
Yeah, unless you wanted to afford, you wanted, see, these could be single family. See, Roberta, you could get a 40B developer in there and, well, let me talk. You can do a 40B developer to come in and do a senior housing, single family development. Whether it's 20 units or not, I have no idea. But under single family, only 20% of them have to be designated affordable, and then the remaining can be market rate or whatever rate is set. You're
You're muted.
muted.
I understand that, but this is the part that if we're talking seniors over 65, let's just use 65 for an example. I personally can't see a 60-year-old single person or a couple buying a home at 65 years old if they don't already own one and downsizing.
Okay, so you're looking at this as rental?
No.
No, single family ownership,
Right.
like a 55 and older type of thing. Bill.
Right.
Similar to
And
that.
you can, and a developer, you could do a friendly 40B development that is individual ownership. 40B does not have to be apartments and rental.
No.
All right.
Actually, a significant number of the 40Bs that we have approved over the years are actual subdivisions.
Yeah.
That 5 of the, I don't know, 5 of the 50 lots or whatever, or the 40 lots are deed restricted and the rest are market rate. So these would be, the easiest path is to partner with the town, find a developer that wants to develop the product you want to do and do it as a 40B. And if it's, you might not be able to get 20 units in there, but I think for 40B, 20% of the units have to be deed restricted. Other than that, the rest are at whatever, the, market rate is.
I guess I look at it this way, Bill. I'm just making up numbers. Just say these houses were built today and they sold for $400,000.
Right.
That's already affordable. So I don't know who would qualify to be, what is,
Well, you got to look at it this way too, Roberta. It's affordable to who? So where's your target area? So if you're going after 65 and older, no, it's not affordable. They're at a different tax bracket, a different income bracket. So it's much lower. So affordable to them on the median, it's based off the 80% of the median of the town. That's where you'd get your 40B and your calculations to get into the qualified people there. Elderly, when it comes to 65 and then going into 55 and older, it's a different criteria as well as there, but it's also based off of it's based on income, basically at that point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, let's say you can get for hypothetical, let's say you get 20 units
Mhm.
and you do a friendly 40B and they are, and you do them as, I would do the project as one piece of property. I would do it as a condo. So each individual single family unit they own the unit, and then the 20 units own the common area, the parking and the land. No, because guess what? And then there's a homeowners association. And if you are a senior, that is what you really want. To be honest with you, you want to have the lawn and the maintenance of the entire development done by one person, and the plowing and the shoveling, and you want all of that. That's what they do in Florida. My aunt she has a single family home, and, everything else, the roads and all the landscaping and stuff is all in common, done by a homeowners association or paid for by the 20 people. If you do it that way, and you do it as a 40B, 20 units, only 4 units have to be deed restricted to the 80% mean average income. The other 16 can be priced, depending if you partner with a developer, you tell them you want a certain price point, entry point for these things, that you want them at 350 or 400,000. The deed restricted unit, I don't know what the a single family would be at that rate. Let's say you want them to be at 400, and the 4 other units they're probably sold around probably 250, 275 as far as the 80%. So that's the way to do it.
What's, if I'm a developer, which I'm not, but where's the benefit? If I can get 400, but 4 of them, I'm gonna lose 125,000.
Well, you know what? It's what you want to. It's what you want to see. Here's the benefit. And when I was in Taunton, we were looking at some town property, and we were looking at developments. These developers, and there's some I don't know where they were. I don't off the top of my head. I'd have to call over to one of my former employees. Developers developed this product in this area that all the parking and sometimes the parking garages and all that and the landscaping, it's all held in common ownership. And they have these cottages. They're cottage style development, and they're condos. Now, you think of a condo as multifamily. We actually have a development right now that's in planning board. It's out on Eagle Rock Road. It will be a single family. They're single family homes, going to be like 18 or 19 of them, but they're condoed. It's one lot. They hold everything in common, and you own your house. So it's condo is what they call horizontal.
Like down here, I'm in Florida, they're gated communities. They're gated communities.
Yeah, but these don't have to be gated. You're not
Well, I mean,
gated.
that's what they call them. They call them
Right.
gated. Have your own
But
house, and the landscaper does everybody's yard, and
right. And if you're 65 or older, I think that is a benefit, in my opinion.
I mean, that you're right. I have a different opinion than you on that. I'm just saying, because I know what condo fees go for. And when you have a management company operating condo fees,
Mhm.
making money.
Well,
I go to my neighbor like here and say, we all want the same landscaper. The landscaper on this street does everybody.
yeah, I'm
You
going
know,
to.
So, and if you don't want to use the landscape, you don't. I can hire the kid next door to mow my lawn, so I don't think it's beneficial. And I just don't like the fact of strange people running your condo fee and taking advantage of old people.
Well, actually, the condo's run by the 20 folks that own it. I'm going to let you know there's a benefit in it, because the type of development you're going to want, you're not going to want to build. You're not going to be able to, on the lot, build the infrastructure necessary for us to accept it as a roadway. You're essentially building, you're going to want, it's essentially, it's going to be private roads. And so that's going to have to be maintained by the homeowners. So you really need to look at these cottage style developments that, the houses are individually owned, and they own together essentially their driveways. It getting into trying to develop and build the roads necessary and the infrastructure that we would require. You don't have the room, and you don't have, and it drives the cost up. So I'm trying to give you a solution that is a win-win in this cottage style development. It's essentially, the same width of a driveway of a shopping center. They're only like,
It's a true private way. It's a glorified driveway, basically. Is what it is.
It's a parking lot.
Yeah.
It's a glorified parking lot, drive aisles, parking, and because we don't maintain that. In order for us to, you have to have a certain right of way. You have to divide the property. Well, you don't have, there's no way to divide the property. We won't divide property. It's too cumbersome to try to figure out
break up lots.
Divide property and create frontage and all the frontage requirements. The subdivision requirements are so onerous for something like this. It's not for a project what you want. What you want to do, and what developers have done in this region, cottage style development, and it's a homeowners association. It's essentially a private parking lot and drive aisles, and we can write a bylaw. You can craft a senior development bylaw that allows for, through special permit, that type of development. We don't have the laws in place now, but we could.
Okay. Is that,
And they're successful. They're done. There's several of them that are done in the area. I will reach out to the person, and I'll get the name of the development. It's within this area, and I can give it to Donna, and you can go drive through and see what they are. Cottage style development. We tried to do it, and I tried to pitch it in Taunton, and on several pieces of property that we owned when I worked for them.
so this senior development bylaw, is it hard to get it done? Do you think, in your opinion? Does it go to town meeting?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You need to put in a warrant article.
Right. What
Okay.
you really need to do is you need to talk to the planning board.
Well, that's
need-
why I'm asking you, because
Right. You need to talk to the planning board and say, you want to look at trying to do this senior type cottage style development. The senior bylaw is really restrictive. It's the housing authority only. There can be senior developments that are allowed that, can be done privately, and public-private partnerships, and that you're looking at, you like a bylaw that would allow for what they call cottage style development. It would allow, it gives you the flexibility. Sometimes in the cottage style, the ones I've seen, some of them have the small cottages that are like the single family. And then in the corner in the area, it was a bigger area, and they did a duplex, but it's still owned by, so there were a couple duplexes, and there were predominantly single family. It allows for flexibility like that.
okay.
And then if they did that, then we could start researching it, because you really, if the planning board gets on board with it, then I can write it.
Okay.
I can write it a lot easier than you guys can.
Oh, well, that's why we. My next question, though, to you is, I did this on craft paper. I'm old school. I got a 40-foot wide road in there, like a backwards P. I did lots that all had 50-foot frontage. I understand there's wetlands in the back. Don't ask me what the depth was. I don't have anything here.
Yeah.
But you're saying that this road could never be, I was hoping that the town would plow it. There'd be town sewerage, that they'd pick up.
Oh, no, you would have water and sewer. You could have water and sewer, but,
I'm not, these people are gonna have to pay for their own trash now. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, that's an expense. That's the way I was trying to make it. I'm looking at it this way. I would rather pay for somebody to plow, pay somebody to mow, have my trash picked up, have my road plowed, because these condo fees and what people charge privately to do this is an awful lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep it affordable for the seniors that are now wanting to downsize.
Mhm.
And when you're paying $200, $300, $400 a month in a condo fee, when I would rather be paying, and you're still gonna have to pay taxes to the town of Stoughton, but you're not getting the services. I'm out at the big picture of,
The bylaw would allow for both types. You're not going to write a bylaw that just allows for what your development is or this cottage style. It would allow for, a flexible. Now, whether the town or the planning board or whatever would approve it
correct.
with some of the reductions and those sorts of things, and individual lot sizes, that are, 3,500, maybe, I don't know. But essentially the bylaw would be written that the development and density would be based on, a special permit and an engineering design that is feasible and works. So,
Right. Yeah, okay. Does it,
so you can write a bylaw that way.
okay,
Whether town meeting's
Oh.
going to go for it, I don't know. I've been told the reason in the past that the senior development was strictly because somebody tried to revise the bylaw for senior development to allow for private developers. And when I see bylaws that are very specific in certain ways, like housing authority only, there's a backstory there. And I believe there's a backstory from years ago.
There is.
That's my 30 years of planning. When you see something specific like that, you're like, well, that's a quirky Stoughton thing. And there's a backstory. Somebody tried something and they made sure that didn't happen. And that's how they did it.
Bingo.
Yeah. So.
I was on that board for 15 years.
Huh?
I was on their board for 15 years.
Oh, on the planning board?
No, housing.
On the housing? Yeah. There's some sort of backstory why the bylaw is that way.
It goes very far back too, so.
Yeah.
well, the fact that the town of Stoughton owns the land, and I'd want to have a lot of, I don't want to say contingencies or whatever, these would be going to Stoughton residents first. And when you do this 40B, it seems like you're getting all the stuff from the state and all this other stuff. I see
Not necessarily.
And they can't guarantee they'll all be Stoughton people. I don't believe they're going to fill that with Stoughton people because it's going to be huge.
Well,
but, when you only have, I'm just saying 20 units and you have a population that's aging, I can see more people from Stoughton want to stay in Stoughton, but they don't want that raised ranch.
okay. Now you need to know that the town is not a developer. So we're not going to develop this. The town would have to ultimately send an RFP, a request for proposal, through the 30B process that outlined we would like to solicit developers that would come in and apply for, under the senior housing bylaw, a development that does A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And then they bid on it. And then you'd have to enter into some agreements. Town meeting would have to approve it, probably a concept plan about what they're doing, and then town meeting, then would agree to the sale and that sort of thing. So it's pretty
lengthy.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just getting a bylaw a senior bylaw, the earliest would be May of 2026.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think would have a little more headway because I'm not a developer and it's not my land. This is the town land. None of us are here.
Whoa. I'm not developing the bylaw. The bylaw would apply wherever it applies.
Oh, okay. Got you.
It's not site specific.
Okay. All right.
So it would say senior housing developments, minimum 5 acres or 2 acres or whatever, minimum acreage in are permitted subject to special permit in these zones. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
It's not specific. We're not doing it specifically.
But
So it would be allowed elsewhere.
Okay, but still have to get a special permit though. Each case would still require.
Well, we haven't written the bylaw. A special permit is a minimum. There's no way it would be done as of right. I can guarantee you that.
Right.
Okay. All right, I think I'm done talking, so I'll let anybody else who wants to talk ask Mr. Roth a question if they have any.
I'm just curious, oh, sorry. Do you want to go first, Tita?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just curious, given how many times I've heard that we have a shortage of senior housing and an aging population that might like to downsize, that I think it would be a good idea. And I just would like to know a little bit about the backstory as to what would prevent what could have gone on that would prevent producing housing for seniors? I just don't understand it.
My understanding, and maybe Peter knows because he's on there. My understanding is that they didn't want private developers, is what I gather.
In the nutshell, yeah.
We have building codes. Wouldn't any developer have to satisfy certain building codes to build in Stoughton?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'll just let it rest at that.
yeah. It's the buildings have to meet the building code no matter what. I think the way the senior bylaw is written, it allows them, the way it is now, you know, they could do they could do townhouses, they could do you know, more of an apartment style there, or, you know, they could do a lot of different things. And I think that they didn't want a private developer to have the same latitude, right, because as the housing authority, because they had more faith, the housing authority is part of the town, and that's my feeling on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Right.
Remember also, this was done, I want to say 40 plus years ago, 40 years ago.
yeah, I think it would be nice to at least have a bylaw written that would allow it to, because right now it seems like it's almost impossible. The housing, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the housing authority, who would have the authority to build these, hasn't really done that. Is that a correct statement?
Well, they don't have the money. I mean, they just don't have the money.
Yeah.
And a lot of the programs that they used to use 30 and 40 years ago, none of those federal programs exist anymore.
Okay.
Basically, it's HUD only that you go through on a federal. That's if the town has a federal project. Most of the projects are done by state programs.
Yeah.
And even those, as you know, Bill, those are dwindling too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like this is long overdue. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
And mind you, I mean, I have a long list, you know, of things, any of you are town meeting members, you know, we bring back all these little spot zones. I told you, I'm coming back. Guess what? This town meeting, I have 3 more rezone articles, you know, where you have a business and you have a parking lot, and the parking lot is zone residential and the business is zone general business. And, you know, I've got dozens and dozens of these, and we're doing those. But, you know, that is, when I looked at the bylaws, I was like, you know, at some point we need to look at allowing for private development on senior housing. So it's been on my list, but if the SRA wants to go and discuss it with the planning board to possibly look at the bylaw to allow for private developers, to allow for, you know, a special permit to allow for, you know, senior development to be, you know, single family, you know, multifamily, duplex, triplex, you know, to allow for different densities through special permit. And if they want to, yeah, that's a good idea, then we can kind of put that on the work schedule to do. So
What do you think, Peter and Bob?
I mean, I think anything that we can do to help the residents of Stoughton is a good idea. Whatever procedures or whatever steps we need to take. I think it's long overdue. You know, my other concern, you know, is letting Stoughton Housing Authority know what we're up to. You're talking about the planning board. You know, talking about a lot of different moving parts. But I mean, it's good to have the discussion and see if we can get the ball rolling. Yeah,
let me know when you want to get on the agenda, and I can put you guys on I can look at an agenda that's not too heavy, and we can get you guys on the agenda.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that.
So, and I'll talk to Dan first, because he's the chairman, so I've got to make sure that, you know, I just don't willy-nilly put stuff on there.
I understand.
Very
I
good.
do every now and then, but
Keeps them on his toes, right?
huh?
Keeps them on their toes.
Yeah. I mean, some applications come in, I have to put them on. So, but other than that, I clear the agenda with the chairman. I'm sure Donna does that with you, Roberta.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Peter, do you have anything you want to add?
Now, Bill, this was awesome. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. There's a path forward.
Yeah.
So, and then, but I will let you know, you're going to have to, first of all, we can do this, but then you're really going to have to partner with the town.
The town,
And,
I've spoken to him and he's been receptive to this.
yeah. And really, once the zoning's in place, then you say, okay, well, it doesn't cost that much money to send an RFP out if you have kind of the criteria of what you want. Now, I will let you know that the more you want, and some people think of, okay, well, because we'll have to sell the property. And I've tried to, when I was in Taunton and we were trying to do this with a piece of property, we really tried to tell them, it's like, look, you think the property's worth, let's just say $500,000. Well, is it in the town's best interest to sell it for less, but put restrictions that we want a certain number of Stoughton residents? And Stoughton residents would have to be on the initial sale. It can't be on if you're doing single family or whatnot. The more things you want, it's like, well, that $500,000, that's cost a developer, and the land cost is part of his development cost. So as I've told different councils that and select boards I've mentioned, sometimes if you have a long list and you want A, B, C, you want this type of development, sometimes it's in the best interest that, it's to partner with them that in order to get that and to get a certain price point and whatnot, sometimes, it's more valuable to sell the property for $1 and get your laundry list of items and have it developed exactly the way you want versus selling it for whatever the market value is and having no control over it. So, I mean,
yeah, my thought, Bill, was to basically, I'm just putting this out there, nothing's etched in stone. You give them the land, and on the back end, you get one house. Now, granted, you're not going to keep the house, but it's yours. The town of Stoughton owns it. The town of Stoughton sells it.
yeah, those.
It's less money up front for a developer. That's the way I look at it.
It's those kind of deals are problematic. Those are good for private folks. And Roberta, and I hate to tell you, I think I've dealt in the public sector so long. I think with the bidding laws and in order for us to sell it, we'd have to do a 30B, auction to sell it and get town meeting approval. So, I know we're kind of in the weeds.
Yeah.
That really is probably not the best way to go.
Okay.
It's really better to say that we want, what you want the development to look like and what concessions and certain things and figure out what the value of that is to the town. And then it's what the value of the property is.
Right. And that would be up to the town or the town manager or the select board. I get it.
Ultimately town meeting.
Yeah. But
Right.
it would satisfy the seniors. It would satisfy, you're going to get tax revenue. You're going to have, the taxes won't be high, but you're getting taxes. You're taking care, you're helping the problem, shortage of housing. You leave your raised ranch and you move in here, you got a young family moving in.
I hate to tell you, but 400,000 isn't affordable for seniors.
Mm-mm.
Well, if you own a $650,000 raised ranch outright when you're 70 years old, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Not,
Anyways, that's
there's
neither
a
here
lot
nor
of people, there's more people not in that situation than that are.
there. Right.
I know a lot of older people that own their homes in Stoughton, so. But anyways, I guess something-
With Bill, I mean, once we get, the first step is just getting the bylaws written, and then we can work out the details that you were, the laundry list.
Yeah, I think you need to have I call it a permitting path. A permitting path, i.e. zoning and whatnot. So the first
Yep.
thing would be we'll put you on the agenda to talk about the issue and what you'd like to look at doing. And then you can talk about the site, but it's not site specific because depending on, we can't write a bylaw that's just for one site. You know, just like, you know, when you do an overlay district for like adult entertainment or marijuana, you can't restrict it that, oh, well, it's only these two pieces of property and they're all wetland, you know. So that's so first is the permitting portion of it to get the zoning in place. And then the second is, while you're doing that, I think you have to figure out and maybe you talk to some developers and say, okay, what does an RFP look like for this type of development? So, and a developer might say, yeah, the cottage style, you know, building the road, the infrastructure and all that might be more expensive and more costly than building the, you know, cottage style condo driveway parking lot that I'm talking about. So there's pros and cons to them both. Eventually, Roberta, we're going to agree on it, something.
Yeah, just saying, I'm listening to what you're saying. Right. It's just too many rules and regulations for me, Bill. That's all.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how you can write a regulation that's flexible to get what you want and benefit the town.
Right. Then that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to benefit the town and
Yep.
segment that I think we really been needing for many, many years.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to live in a 6-level, you know, walk 10, you know, spaces from your car to the building, walk down a hallway, hit an elevator, you got 3 bags of groceries, and you're lucky if you don't even you look over a parking lot.
Yeah.
There's more to it's a quality of life.
Right. I'll find out where this the cottage development that was done that we looked at, that we tried to emulate in Taunton.
Yeah. I mean,
because it's within the region. So
I mean, there's a lot of things that you can, you know, there's a lot of different ideas, you know, there's a lot of ideas. So it's just getting through the planning board.
Exactly.
Cookies.
you gotta get through town meeting first.
Oh, town meeting before planning?
No,
Yeah, you gotta put you gotta figure out how to get the zoning
Right.
zoning bylaw first.
Yeah, for you guys. And
Yeah. We start with town. You start with a planning board. We work on a bylaw, and obviously, I mean, I know based on my work agenda and the different things that I've got going on, there's it would, the earliest would be a bylaw amendment would be, you know, well, bylaw amendment for the May 2026 town meeting has to be fully written and ready to be advertised in December.
Bill, I have confidence you could do it at the special town meeting that we're gonna have in October.
Be ready.
We're gonna have one.
We'll see. There's a lot of I got a lot of things.
Oh, I know.
We just got a grant for housing production plan that I got to deal with, and I've got a huge workload right now.
All right, all right.
So, and this town meeting, it's a lot of zoning, this town meeting, a lot.
We'll see, yeah. So does anyone else have anything for Mr. Roth? Can we
No.
let,
But one thing,
Oh, go ahead.
Roberta, when you're talking about your price tag,
yeah,
I was, because just to let you know how expensive things are,
no,
I was just at the building commissioners. The building commissioners locally have a little working group they talk about, and I went because they were talking about this new accessory dwelling unit law. And we've written our bylaw, and they're going over how their communities are doing it, and so it's more of a networking. And they told me that they were thinking that the construction cost of a detached accessory ADU, accessory dwelling unit, 900 square feet, detached, that's on water and sewer, not septic or anything. They're saying construction costs, they probably figures about $300 a foot.
mm-hmm,
That's a 900 square foot ADU would cost somebody $270,000. So it puts it into perspective. So when we think that people are going to be building these ADUs all over the place,
no,
I don't know how many people's got a spare $250,000.
right,
And they said that wasn't fancy either. He goes,
yeah, the units,
when they told me that, it was an eye opener.
yeah. Well, these units that I'm contemplating are 24 by 24. They're smaller than that.
Yeah.
1 bedroom, ADA. I mean, yeah, I want the ADA. You need to have that.
Yeah. But you also have to figure out, is there a market for it, and the developer too. So, but we can figure that out.
We can.
So
Anybody?
first step, you guys, I'll get with, who should I get with on,
You can either call me or Donna.
okay, on the planning board. Okay. For a planning board meeting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Bill, for coming. Enjoy your evening.
Okay. Sorry to talk so much.
That's
All
all.
right,
That's
thank you. Appreciate it.
all the better.
Nice to meet
All right.
everyone.
Same here.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Anybody else, anything else to add to that before we move on, or?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so we're at the finance review, post office box. At the time when Donna, we decided we should get a post office box. And I think it was just a really big box and they were a lot of money. So I told Donna to put a hold on it. And I said, why can't we still get our mail delivered at the town hall?
We had an issue in the past with our financial mail being opened at the town hall, which is why we got the post office box.
I wonder why they were opening it.
It wasn't just a case of it being ripped in the mail, it was being sliced open.
So it went to some other department and they just, you just open mail. Thought it was
That's
there.
usually what happens. They go somewhere else and they go, oh, wrong one. They throw it in an envelope and say, no, go over there.
Right.
It happens all the time. Yeah.
I mean, I really don't think we have anything that's private.
No, it's public information.
Right. Anyways,
Well, bank statements but
Yeah.
checks.
Yeah. You don't want the account numbers out there is basically what it is.
right. But usually if you get your thing in the mail or whatever, it doesn't show all the numbers.
No, I mean like the actual checks themselves that we use to pay bills.
They come in the mail too. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's worth it just to have the PO box, just so we have our autonomy on that one.
Well, they were only the larger ones when Donna checked last month.
And it was $118 for 3 months.
We don't need something that big. I mean, check every periodically and see if they have the regular size ones, right? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I mean, we still are getting the mail on Perry Street. So
Yeah.
it has to be done tomorrow. But I guess if there's a box the proper size, maybe the next time you're in the area, Donna, and see if they have anything smaller. Now that it's a new year, maybe people gave up their boxes. I don't know.
Excuse me, isn't that something that you can find out online? Don't they tell you what's available online by town?
I have no idea.
United Postal
Probably,
Service?
probably, but I stopped into the Stoughton Post Office and two of the people on duty there told me that only 3x5 ones were available at this time and that it was $118 for 3 months.
Jeez.
Yeah, crazy.
I guess we'll just check back, see if this one comes available, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe we could follow up with the town clerk's office. I mean, I don't know where the mail was being delivered, and up by the. I know there's slots up by the town manager's office there that they put in the different finance committee or whatever. But maybe we could speak with the town clerk and see if she has any type of recommendations for us getting our mail and obviously making sure it doesn't get opened.
Yeah, we do have a slot there still, so.
Okay. All right. Well, we I guess like Roberta said, we got to we still have Perry Street. We can get it there, and then we can probably revisit this in another month or two.
Okay. All right. Next up is in the finance review is the property assessment cards. I don't know what are the property assessment cards?
Those are included in the packet. They were sent by the assessor's office
Oh, the assessors thing. Okay.
for both Page Street and Perry Street. The Page Street one was forwarded by email and by regular mail to Win Waste. The Perry Street one needs to be filled out.
Oh, did the hairdresser get one too?
No, we're the owners of the property, so we got it.
So we have to give it to her. We have no idea what she has for equipment there. John, you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean,
One part-
basically she has chairs. You can pretty much surmise what she has in there for. I mean, it's a hairdresser, so it's usually the standard equipment.
Right, but why would we be paying personal property tax?
We wouldn't. She would be.
Okay, unless she's also getting one.
She should be getting one on her own for the personal property tax, not for the real estate, right?
But this is for personal property. It's from the assessor's office.
Oh, no idea why. Except they may have had it in the past. Whatever was in there in the past.
Yeah, Donna, can we find out if the hair salon got their own?
Yeah, can we get a copy of last year's, or is this a first time
No, they said
revaluation?
so.
I think we did get it last year, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Mark contacted Trish, and she said, "Don't worry about it." But the reason why I included it here was I wanted to talk to you before talking to the assessor's office, because there is a fine if it's not filled out by March something. It's like a $300 fine.
Oh,
Well, I suggest that Donna call the assessors to find out if the hair salon got one, or if that's for the hair salon. And if it's ours, Donna can just fill it out and say we have a copier, a TV, a desk. Yes, I mean, that's basically what we got.
Well, it wants to know the square footage.
the tenant's name or tenant's business.
Yeah, when the lease started, that sort of
Long
thing.
time ago.
The real estate tax.
Yeah, I mean,
I can talk to Trish talk to the assessor's office first if you want me to.
Yeah, I'd talk to the assessors first, find out if she got her own. If she didn't get her own, that means we have to fill it out for side 2 and side 4.
yeah, I don't think she got her own. I think it says on
I
it
don't think so either.
2 to 4, and then we would list the business as the owner. I would just see if there's one on file. So you can pretty much duplicate it if needed, Donna, rather than kind of reinventing the wheel, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Right, but if we're unit 1, she has to say what we have, and then unit tenant.
Yep.
I used to get those at the penny saving, right? And I only had to pay on my thing because since she was a resident, she didn't pay it. But I
Yeah.
think get whacked with both bills. But whatever. I mean, let Donna find out. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Peter, do you have to shove off at 7 o'clock on the dot?
I do.
All right, I don't
do.
anything we really need to vote on. So if you want to take off, thanks for showing up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do. And I'll see you all at the next meeting.
All right, sounds good.
See ya.
Sounds good.
Okay, all right, the insurance policy. Okay. So finally, I've got some headway with our liability insurance. When they put us in that new building and we were gonna do the, whatever you want to call it there, they put us in for that. So I think that's why the liability is so high. And I've been going back and forth with them since last meeting. And I just talked to somebody 2 days ago.
Are you talking about the vendor project?
Yes. They
Okay,
put us in there like some liability. So they went back to the adjuster just today's Thursday. That was Tuesday. So hopefully we will see the bill go down
Wow.
because it's like $8,000. But I understand it's liability. I mean, somebody trips and falls, you have to have that type of insurance. I get it. You know, but it seemed really high. It went up an awful lot when we lost a property. We're not on Pearl Street anymore. So I'll keep you in touch with that, and I'm sure if we get some kind of credit, it will show up on the bill, but I'm sure I'll be talking to them. Anybody have any questions on that? The insurance?
no, thank you for looking into it.
Okay. Perry Street, tax exemption request and pilot program. Bob, do you want to go on with this since you were talking about it earlier?
Yeah, just, I know they sent us correspondence and Donna, you were nice enough to, update it with, some changes that were, recommended. And then, I know they wanted it by a certain, I think it was, correct my memory, February 3rd or whatever the case may be. But it appears, from the latest correspondence that it's going to be discussed, at a future assessors meeting. And then we can go from there.
That's correct. Mr. Zoll said it's on their 213 agenda, and someone in the assessor's office itself, I believe it's the assistant to Deborah, her name's Julie, said that the changes are being incorporated and they'll get back to us.
Oh, okay, great. All right. And in the meantime, we've paid, I know the taxes were due, what was it, Monday, the 3rd, I believe?
They were paid.
And we paid,
50%.
That's correct.
50%. Okay,
We paid 50% last quarter or whatever it is.
okay.
Okay, Elise, you have any questions on that?
Sorry, I was on mute. No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Next up on Perry Street is the snow removal. Bob, I'm going to you again on that. Did you ever call Paul Jafone?
I've left him a message, but I haven't heard back. But my thought process with that is, we should just, get talk about maybe getting a local contractor to go in there and kind of clean that up on a regular basis. Only because they can get close, but walking there, you really need to get on the property to get rid of a lot of that snow that was there that kind of iced up. And it is our property. It is our responsibility. We are paying insurance. So, my suggestion would be to, just get a local, snow removal individual to, we're almost, beginning of February. So hopefully, we might not need them, but, I think I'd rather go that direction than asking the town to kind of, push it over to the side. And, I think we need a little bit more due diligence there, I guess.
All right. Do you think that we need to get 3 quotes though? Because the fear is that you're using your brother-in-law,
Right. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I don't know anybody who does it, to be honest, so I'm no help here.
Yeah. There's some local people, but yeah, I guess we could probably run that by Fran maybe and say, hey, we need to get a snow plow removal and, do we have to put it out to bid? I mean, you're probably talking maybe, hopefully we only need them one more time or that individual one more time. But, I think that, $50 to $75 to, remove that. I don't know. I understand what you're saying as far as that's concerned, but I just don't think leaving it up to the town, and I don't think the town can do the type of job that we need to
Yeah.
get all of that snow out of there.
Okay. You agree, Lisa? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I know.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, you want me to?
I agree unless I interrupt. How's that?
So do you want me to ask Fran about it?
Yeah, if you could just say, hey,
What about she says, yeah, you need 3 people?
all right.
Who am I gonna get? Who are we gonna call?
Yeah, I guess let's get the answer and then we'll go from there. I think, I
right,
can think,
I'll I will call you.
okay.
All right, and then that should suffice, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, selection of a new accounting firm. Now Donna did get her 1099 on time, but we do have to have that year-end report, and remember, we got it, 8 months late? So I think we should try to find some local guy or gal in Stoughton who's a CPA. And I guess I could look online.
I think I think Lisa might have to get off mute there for a quick second, but I think I reached out to her and she gave me someone that might be of interest.
Did you call him?
I did not, but my concern was with the same thing was, is that something that we have to, put out to bid, or, can we, just reach out to the,
This was his private feedback to me. He said, generally speaking, from his experience, that in general, a redevelopment authority doesn't take kindly to paying CPA rates. I knew I would pass that along at this meeting, as I just did.
Well, maybe Donna would recall when we got the people using it now. Do you recall at the time, Donna, if you were sitting on the board, the secretary, that they did they just find somebody on their own? Does it ring a bell to you?
I think we did put it out to 3 different places, and it was around this time, and 2 of the places said that it was too late in the year for them to accept clients.
Okay.
So one suggestion I would have is maybe Donna could call, the local towns, Easton, Canton, Sharon, if they have redevelopment authorities, and ask them who they use.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'd like to find somebody local if we can. I guess we can all hunt around, see if we come up with some names. I'll ask Fran about that also, just to be safe.
Yep.
I know, but Bob, feel free to call the gentleman I gave you. Jeez, I'm forgetting Thomas.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he could probably give you a price.
I agree. This is something we definitely need to work on, but also, I mean, April's not that far away, and we really need to start gathering information together for the accounting.
Be signed off by a CPA? There's something called a review by a bookkeeper, and then a CPA could review it.
I was never
don't know what
involved.
documents are.
I don't know either. I was never involved.
Yeah, I mean, no offense, we didn't get them till December, so we got them in very late. And I don't think there's an exact date. I think it was always said that it should be done around that time of year. Because we haven't got any call that we're penalized for sending it late.
And Roberta, you never got any type of response from the state in reference to the redevelopment board?
Nope. Called them, sent them an email, nothing. They got bigger fish to fry over there, I guess, right?
I guess say, just tell them we got the report ready. We want to give it to them.
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right, so that's good. All right, so yeah, we got one so far, and if we can grab a few more, that would be great. But I will ask Fran also. All right, number 9 is vote to approve the 1/6/25 executive session minutes. Since Lisa wasn't here, maybe we should table them, Bob? What's your-
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, we'll have a vote to, somebody make a motion to table it.
motion to table the minutes?
Second, all those, Lisa? She said,
I'm sorry.
you said yes, right?
Yes, but can I even do that if I wasn't there?
We're just tabling them.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah, Bob,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay. The action item list. Oh, boy, do I have that? I gotta scroll down. All right, does everybody have it in front of them? Or am I gonna be the only one? Let me go down.
Which one is, which one are you looking?
Very long insurance policy. Hold on, I'm still scrolling.
Oh, I know. I looked through that. Like, what the heck is that?
It should be the very last document.
Yep, and I got it. All right, so,
What page?
78 of 78?
okay, so mine was contact Russell about sending policy to Donna, which she got. Contact the planner, he was here. Contact the state, I did. Agreed to contact, and, okay, of the sale of Perry Street. Can I talk about that in executive session or to open session? I did contact her. I'll talk about it in executive session.
Okay.
Good. Agreed to look for a new accountant. We're doing that. The plowing you did. Video, that's all that other stuff that Donna does. I think we're pretty good, right? Yep. All right, so that's that. And then all we have left is, I gotta go all the way up to the top. Shoot. All right, so now we're gonna go into executive session.